History is just stuff that already happened, right? Wrong. It's stuff people thought happened while they were kind of making it up. You see, history is supposed to be facts, dates, events, truths, but surprise, turns out a lot of history is like Wikipedia with zero moderators, and everyone's uncle can edit it. Imagine you wrote an essay about the moon landing, but your source was some guy in a pub. Welcome to How We Know About Ancient Empires. Let's play a quick game. Columbus discovered America? Nope. Napoleon was short? He wasn't. Vikings wore horned helmets? Not unless they were going to a Halloween party. Cleopatra was Egyptian. Actually, she was Greek. The Great Wall of China is visible from space. Only if your space goggles are lies. Basically, history is a giant game of broken telephone. One guy writes something, another copies it, then some king rewrites it to make himself sound awesome. And centuries later, you're learning it in school like it's gospel. So buckle up, because we're about to dig into how the entire history of the world got history totally wrong. Probably. Before history was wrong, it had to be written. And before it was written, people were just grunting at each other about mammoths. Let's rewind to a time before smartphones, before newspapers, before even pens. Back then, history was passed down by people talking, like, bro, my great-great-grandpa fought a dragon, and everyone else went, whoa, that's going in the records. Except there were no records, just memories. And memories are not great. Then came writing. Finally, someone said, let's write it down so nobody forgets. And then somebody else said, wait, what if we just write what we want people to remember? Boom. History becomes a flex contest. Ancient kings loved this. Egyptians were like, our pharaohs are gods. Chinese emperors, we invented everything, you're welcome. Romans, we conquered the world, don't fact-check that. It wasn't just pride, it was propaganda before memes. Rulers hired fancy writers called scribes, who were like ancient PR teams. Their job, make the boss look awesome, even if the boss accidentally invaded the wrong country. Also, history was written by the winners. If you lost a war, you didn't get to write your version. So the winner told everyone, we were brave, noble, and totally not the bad guys. And don't forget, most people couldn't read. So even if history was fake, no one could check. It was like ancient X, Twitter, but only kings could post. So by the time schools started teaching history, most of it was already filtered, twisted, or just completely made up. Congratulations. You now live in a world where we think Napoleon was short because the British were being petty. You thought Napoleon being tall was shocking. Buddy, wait till you find out the US once accidentally invaded itself. Twice. One, the time the United States invaded Canada and lost actually happened, and not once, multiple times. In 1812, the US thought, Canada looks empty, let's just walk in and grab it. Spoiler, Canada fought back. Hard. American troops invaded, got slapped by British plus Canadian plus indigenous forces, and even got Washington, D.C. burned in return. Fun fact, they also tried again during the Revolutionary War, also failed. So no, Canada didn't almost become America. America almost became more embarrassed. 2. The Pope once put a dead guy on trial. Yes, they dug up a corpse, put it on a throne, and yelled at it. In 897 CE, Pope Stephen VI was super mad at the previous pope, so he exhumed the dead body of Pope Formosus, dressed him in papal robes, and held a real courtroom trial called the Cadaver Synod. The corpse was found guilty. They cut off his blessing fingers and dumped him in a river, and you thought your office politics were bad. 3. The Eiffel Tower was almost built in Spain. Paris almost said no to its most famous icon. When Gustave Eiffel first pitched the tower for the 1889 World's Fair, Parisians hated the idea. They called it ugly, pointless, and a metal asparagus. So Eiffel offered it to Barcelona instead. But Barcelona also said no. Then Paris finally said, fine, whatever. Now it's one of the most iconic things on Earth. 4. The Great Emu War, humans versus birds. Birds won. This is not a joke. In 1932, Australia had too many emus ruining farmland, so they sent soldiers with machine guns to fight emus. The emus scattered, dodged, and outran bullets. The army gave up. Official score. Emus won, Australian government 0-5. The Trojan horse was actually a boat or a metaphor, or not real at all. Some historians now think the wooden horse was never a horse, but a coded term for a siege engine, or even a ship named Horse. So maybe the Greeks didn't sneak inside a statue, but just attacked like regular warriors, and Homer thought, nah, let's make it cooler. 6. Ancient Romans used pee for laundry. Yes, human pee. Real Roman tide. Urine contains ammonia, a powerful cleaning agent, so Romans had pee collection pots on street corners, and fullers, ancient laundromats, used it to clean togas. Also, the emperor taxed the pea industry, so technically Rome had a pea tax. 7. The first Olympic marathon winner cheated 1904 St. Louis Olympics. What a mess. American runner Fred Laws ran 9 miles, got tired, hitched a ride in a car, then jumped out near the finish line. He won, he posed for photos, he smiled. Then someone ratted him out, organizers banned him, but then forgave him, because early 1900s rules were chaos. The British used to ban football, not the fun kind, the medieval kind. In the 14th century, kings like Edward II banned football, soccer, because it was too violent. No rules, no referees, just hundreds of villagers charging a pig bladder through muddy streets. Sometimes they broke bones, sometimes they broke windows. One law called it a devilish pastime. So yeah, even football has a criminal record. A city faked a moon landing in 1835, not NASA, not Hollywood, just New York newspapers being weird. In 1835, the New York Sun published a series of fake articles about a British astronomer discovering bat people, unicorns, and temples on the moon. People believed it. They sold thousands of papers, then said, "Ha-ha, just kidding." Then everyone just moved on. Imagine if CNN did that today. An army got defeated by rabbits, yes, bunnies, lots of bunnies. Napoleon Bonaparte once arranged a rabbit hunt to celebrate a military victory. His men released hundreds of rabbits for sport. Problem: the rabbits were domestic, not wild. They thought Napoleon was bringing food. They swarmed him. The Emperor of France fled the field defeated by an army of fluffy chaos. One German soldier in WO surrendered to an entire French village and then ran the town. In 1914, a single German soldier got separated from his unit and stumbled into a French town. He pointed his gun and shouted. The entire village surrendered. He stayed there for days, eating cheese and bossing people around until French reinforcements came and arrested him. Legend, a British war plan was discovered because someone lost a sandwich. World War II espionage at its weirdest. Operation Mincemeat 1943, British intelligence stressed a dead homeless man as a Royal Marine, put fake invasion plans in his briefcase and dumped him off the coast of Spain. The Germans found the body, read the plans and completely fell for it. So yeah, the Allies won a battle using a corpse and a fake lunch. Ancient astronomers knew more than you think, the Antikythera mechanism, aka Greek time machine. In 1901, divers found a rusted thing in a shipwreck. Turns out it was a 2000-year-old mechanical computer, used by Greeks to predict eclipses, moon phases, and Olympic Games. It has gears more complex than 18th century clocks. So who forgot to include that in textbooks? A man invented an entire fake country and people believed it. Poyes, 1820s. Scottish con artist Gregor MacGregor claimed he was king of a tropical paradise called Poyais in Central America. He sold land, wrote fake guidebooks, and even printed fake Poyais money. Hundreds of people moved there. There was nothing there, no food, no houses, just lies. History, sometimes it's a scam. We once switched calendars and lost 11 days. September 3rd, 1752 no longer exist. Britain. When England switched from the Julian to the Gregorian calendar, they had to skip 11 days to sync up with Europe. People freaked out. Some believed their lives were shortened by 11 days. Riots broke out. Meanwhile, historians were like, wait, which calendar are we using again? So yeah. If history was a software, it'd still be in beta mode. We tell stories that sound cool, ignore ones that are weird, and sometimes just invent new ones when we get bored. And the worst part? These weird, wrong, ridiculous moments are often left out of the books because they don't fit the serious tone. But now you know. Turns out the past is just today with worse Wi-Fi. So what does all this tell us? That history isn't carved in stone, it's carved in vibes, edited by winners, misprinted by newspapers, and occasionally thrown together by a guy who thought, dead Pope, put him on trial. We've built our understanding of the world on rumours that got tenure, maps drawn by guys who never left the pub, and facts that came from a sandwich in a briefcase. It means we can't just memorize history, we have to interrogate it, cross-check it, and sometimes laugh at it. Because behind every heroic statue and school textbook, there's probably a bunny ambush or a fake moon colony we're just not told about. And maybe that's the point. History isn't just dates and names, it's a mirror, and sometimes the reflection is wearing a clown wig. So yeah, history, it's like your grandpa's fishing story. Every time it's told, the fish gets bigger, the storm gets louder, and somehow now there's a time-traveling priest involved. But that's why history is awesome. Because it's not finished. It's not fixed. And sometimes it's completely fake. So the next time someone says, actually in 1234, King Pancake of Sardine Land invented calendars, you can smile and say, cool story, bro, source. And if you want more absurd truths, forgotten facts, and broken timelines, subscribe to Infinitia Verity, where we don't just tell you what happened, we tell you what probably didn't, but everyone believed anyway. Like, comment, and share before the algorithm rewrites this video as ancient folklore. See you in the next paradox.